It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Tonight, let us make them remember we are not afraid!
Welcome back to Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock from Phoenix, Arizona, from the studios of Freedoms with an S, freedomsphoenix.com. Let me tell you what we're going to be talking about for the rest of this hour. You know, I talk about this a lot. I mean, there's always before something happens and after something happens. There's pre-9/11 America, there's post-9/11 America. There's pre-1971, we went off the gold standard, and after. You know, there's before the Lovolution and after the Lovolution. I mean, you know, there's always markers in history that mark times that kind of delineate generations, movements, and so on. And I'm always about movements. If you try and put a face on it or a logo or one website or anything on something, if you want to kill a movement, try to control it. So I'm all about, not necessarily creating parades, just jumping out in front of them. Ooh, a parade, let me help. What can I do? And and a lot of people, they'll go, you're such an opportunist. Yeah. So, I mean, this is the one thing, and it's because they're angry. I give you an example. Here in Arizona, we have a lot of, the same thing that you'll have in your community, I'm sure. There's the Clear Channel station, for radio. There's the Fox News affiliates, and there's the Fox News cable, and there's the neocon conservative, whatever, supporting newspaper. And this is nothing new. This is everywhere. This always happens. What role do we play? Well, before, the only input that we had into the matrix was 3 months right before any election cycle. Everything else was preparation for that, okay? I'll give you an example. Right now, there is the legislative session that's getting ready to start here in Arizona, I'm sure, in your state too. Well, they have a lot of things they got to deal with. They got to deal with, are we going to be able to continue this government thing? And if we are, how are we going to do it? And we need money to do it. We got to pay the troops. Well, that's what brings down empires oftentimes. They just can't afford to pay the troops, and whatever they pay them, they can't buy anything with it. So it always comes down to money. It always comes down to economics. It comes down to, voting with your wallet. Walletvoting.com. .org. This is what I did. I'm going to tell you the story we talked about a little bit yesterday, and I'm going to try and inspire your imagination and tell you exactly what we're going to do. Now, bad guys, if you're listening, it has to be one. I mean, come on. There's one of you out there, right? Okay. We always tell you everything that we're going to do and what we're going to do, and we call it Billy Jacking. For those of you of a younger generation probably don't know what that means. Billy Jack was a popular B-movie back in the day. This is in the 70s. He was a Vietnam War vet, Green Beret, comes back to Arizona. In Prescott, Arizona, northern Arizona, is a corrupt sheriff there and a corrupt government, corrupt just like today. So he's going back and forth with it, and there's one scene where he's in the central square face-to-face with the sheriff. And it's back and forth, and ouch, quit it, and whatever. And finally, there's a scene where he says, I'm going to take the right side of my right foot, and I'm going to put it up against the right side of your head, and there's nothing you can do about it. Shabam, all right? So we call it Billy Jacking, and we say, look, we're going to do this. This is what we're going to do. Now, how you respond to this and how you react and how you can be part of the good guys. You can protect us doing it. You can do, this is what's going to happen. Now, you can try and stop us, but then, whatever it is that you're going to do to counter our dissent or us making an issue out of something, well, that's going to be part of it. Heck, that may even be better that you do that than just letting us do it. I mean, this happens all the time. And especially now with people that have smartphones and Quick on their phone, Quick, QIK.com. You go there and you load it up. It's on my phone. Heck, my wife did it first. You just, something happening, your kids are playing or something. You could just hit the button. It records. It goes right to your website, and family and friends can see it and whatever and look at that queue. Well, it's even better when you got, somebody doing something bad, and it's safe. There she goes. So we have the ability to communicate immediately with all of our peers in real time. That was never a problem for the king in the past. I don't care how powerful you were. You're Lord God, King Bufu, all you survey. You didn't have to worry about them telling all the other peasants what you were doing right then when you were doing it. Well, now you do. So, and our first guest that we had on, Matt Bruce, in the first hour. He's one of them. I mean, we had a nice conversation. I let him have his say, but man, he is definitely for the empire. In fact, he's talking about all the lithium in Afghanistan. We got to go get these tribesmen out of, how did our lithium get underneath your sand there, man? I'm going, wow. They always, and he even said it, might over right. And this is their mentality. I'm proud of it. America. MKers, man, America. I did that, had him come on, and it was nice of him to, share with us. It was to our benefit. I mean, I know you're sitting there going, wow, man, go get him, Ernie, but I'm just, let him have his say. And he knows my position. We talked off air a little bit. I warned him. I was going to take the right side of my right foot. And here we go. But he demonstrated what he really is about. He's in support of the U.S. empire. And if the people in Afghanistan knew what was good for them, they don't have paved roads. Dang it, we got roads for them. If they just shut up and sit down and do whatever we want, let us have all their goodies and the resources, it go to, not them probably, but that's the mentality. The more technology that we have to be able to force our will across the planet, the better off we are. Our troops don't get... Heck, we might as well just have robots, Terminators. We do. They're called drones. We have hypersonic aircraft that now can deliver conventional weaponry across the planet from Kansas in, hour and a half. I think we heard it was Mach 13 or something. I mean, this is wow. And he's proud of the fact CENTCOM is right by him. He's been in the war room as they are bombing people with the drones. One of his sons, third tour in Afghanistan. He was first responder. I mean, man, he checked off all the lists. That boy's got a job with DOD. Troop Talk Radio. So, I mean, what do we learn from that conversation? This is what we're up against. This is the mentality. This is what, they are trying to sell to us as American, I guess. I'm not really sure what it is. Everybody should live as we dictate, because we know what's better for you. You bring up the concept of what if that was done to us, and it's like it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. So I'm okay. How do we go out on this one? Let me tell you the history and future of Freedom's Phoenix and the Freedom Summit. When I got time, we'll talk about the Freedom Summit. Freedom Summit, great time. Now, I lost some money on this one, I tell you. We didn't have near as many people came as we wanted. We had like 80 people and so, but that's a good summit. We always say it's intimate. We don't, you get the best summits when you get, 100, 120, and then if you start getting over 200, it's too much. But this year, we kept our costs down and so on, but, it was a great time. And I always tell the vendors and the speakers, I go, look, it's an intimate venue. It's a vacation for y'all. You come here, we pay for your hotel and airfare, we have a good time, you get to meet a lot of people, a lot of networking went on, after party, really good time. We were glad to be able to live broadcast that too, and we'll get the videos up whenever the volunteers get around to it, and this is how it works. So we'll get to that. And you'll see great stuff. And we had a lot of comments from people. They enjoyed themselves, and they really liked this one, and they really liked this information. And we'll talk about a lot of the great speakers that we had and what happened. But an activity was born, as it always does. I mean, where do you think this Lovolution stuff comes from? It's all the great minds of the Freedom Summit got together. We got a really good one for you that we're going to use to entertain and inform America. You know why? because we can. We'll be right back here on Declare Your Independence in just a little bit.